Hey YouTube, I'm going to try this again. My phone overheated. I thought I was recording a video and I wasn't doing anything but talking to myself. So let's talk quickly about the last video I did, which was the one where I talked about the 2025 proposed rules. And comment period is already closed. I didn't realize it at the time, but I went back and looked, and yeah, it's closed now. It wasn't when I first did the video. There will be another comment period, but for those who want to be proactive, call your congressman or your senator and talk to them about the proposed rules and what you think is appropriate or inappropriate. Um, there was a lot of reasons behind the Consumer Protection Agency getting involved, but the main one was the deaths from e-bikes don't. There's 890 deaths every year by regular bike, and of those 890 deaths, 50% or more are by vehicle, getting hit by a car. So the other 44% of it is preventable, and the 8% is freak accidents that nobody could have predicted or prevented. In e-bikes, out of the 217 deaths in the last 5 years that they've recorded, 2 were by vehicle. The rest were they called preventable. Hitting a curb, not paying attention, those kinds of things, where they went off the road, went over the handlebars, and got killed by striking another object or the ground or their head or whatever. But those people, they said that almost 90% of all those accidents were preventable because of lack of education, lack of experience, or various other reasons. Um, so, what I think it boils down to is that in order to ride on a bike trail, your bike is going to have to meet a certain condition, which I think will be 15 miles an hour, and they will allow throttle up to 15 miles an hour, and that's going to be the cutoff. All other bikes will be regulated to the roadways. Whether they classify them as mopeds or whatever, I don't know. We'll see. That's going to be the Department of Transportation will decide that information. But if they do, you can bet there will be a plate requirement or a sticker requirement. There will be a training requirement. There will be a helmet requirement, and then there will be all other kinds of things. So it's going to be pretty involved, I think. We may not see the finished rules until 2027 or 28. There will be an roll-in period where they'll give time for people that have bikes that don't meet the conditions to buy a bike that meets the conditions that they ride. And there's lots of comments that I haven't answered. Don't think I don't answer comments. I do, but there's something wrong with YouTube right now. They're not feeding me my comments. I have to go look in other places to find the comments in YouTube Studio or somewhere else to see them, or look through emails saying that there's a new comment. But that being said, if you have an important question that you don't want seen by others, then send me an email. It is on my channel information if you need it. I am not going to give it to everybody, but if you need it, it's there. If you want to use it, use it. The next thing I want to cover is real quick is e-bike rebates. Right now there's 2 states, California and Maine, that offer a rebate on e-bike. And Michigan is about to become the 3rd state. They didn't allocate a bunch of money, $2.7 million. The final numbers for what they'll give you and the poverty level or the level of income they're going to do are not finished because it still needs to go through the House. But right as it sets right now, they'll give you up to $1,250 on an $8,000 bike, and up a minimum of $500 to purchase an e-bike, and you have to meet the income requirements, which I think will be about 150% of poverty. So the money won't last long. So if you if you live in Michigan, keep track of it. If it becomes approved by the House next year, sometimes you'll be able to buy an e-bike at least at a discount. The next thing is UL listing for batteries. It's coming. My truck has a UL sticker on it, on the battery, so I can take it inside and legally charge it. Here's what's the outcome will be. If you don't have a UL listed battery, you shouldn't be charging it in your home. 90% of all fires with lithium-ion bike batteries are while charging. They're left unattended and they overcharge. Something happens to the BMS or the cells in the battery and they explode. You can't put it out in any traditional manner. It's like trying to put out gasoline with water. It might work if you do it long enough, but they're quite explosive too. So, yesterday at this very seat, there was a guy with a bike. The battery just died unexplainably, and I should have told him, when you get home, cautiously plug it in to charge it. He was just going down the road, said his battery was full, and all of a sudden it just died. Could be as simple as there's a fuse in the battery, but if there's a fuse blew, there's a reason why it blew. Or he overheated the motor on the bike, and did damage that way. Because the accessories worked on the bike, but he couldn't get it to turn on. Now, so the UL listing is going to have an effect on some bike manufacturers. Electric's already working on UL listing all its batteries. Their newest bikes do have UL listed batteries, but the older bikes don't. So if you're looking for a way to safely charge your battery, they do make cases. You can buy them on Amazon where you put the battery in a firebox and charge it that way. I think it's a bit of paranoia, but if they do pass this UL listing requirement and you have a fire from your e-bike battery in your house that isn't UL listed, you may not have any insurance coverage. Check with your carrier. That's all I have to say about that. I want to get this video done. I want to get on my ride. I've already tried this video twice. My camera overheated, so I had to take the case off, and we're doing it for the third time, and I'm hoping it works this time. And then when I walk around the camera to shut it off, it's still on. If you have any questions about the proposed rules, get a hold of your congressman or your senator. If you want me to comment on something that you're concerned about, you know how to get a hold of me. Like, subscribe. Hey, do what you do. Have a great ride.